Hello and welcome. So, I bought another car and I'm going to show it to you in a little while, but first there's a little story that goes with that. Now, if you've looked at the videos on my channel, you'll know that this channel was kind of started to document my search for a replacement for my Cadillac ATS whose lease was running out. And it ended up culminated in this. I was looking for a coupe with adaptive cruise control, and the BMWs and Audis and those things, which by the way I loved, were all kind of pricey. I mean, their base prices, lowest prices were higher than this thing, which is fairly fully loaded. So I ended up going with this one. But after I bought this, I realized this really isn't the best daily driver that one could have, for a number of reasons. The main one being it uses a lot of gas. I'm getting like 15 miles to the gallon, and considering myself lucky to be doing that the way I drive. And I live right on the edge of Memphis, Tennessee, and this is a very popular car to be stolen, especially carjacked, in Memphis, Tennessee. So I'm thinking, well, I don't really want to be driving this a lot in the city, but I work in the city. But that's okay, I don't go to work. Oh wait, but I'm going to be going back to work at the end of the summer. So now when I go back to work, I'm going to have to drive into Memphis, and park in a parking garage where not the Cadillac, but the car before that, the Mercedes, had its whole side taken out one day with no one left a note. They just wiped out the side of my car and drove off. And that was like $3,500. Well, you don't care. Anyway, I'm getting door dinged. So I said, I don't want to park this in the parking garage at work. So I need to get another car. So I started looking, and I looked at all sorts of cars. I was on AutoTrader and Carvana and all the places, online to look at cars. And they were all way too expensive because the price of cars has gone insane. By the way, this is merch from yourautoadvocate.com. And if you go there, they watch their videos, they will tell you about some of the reasons that used car prices are so high. So with the used car price being so high, so I was looking at trucks at first, and then I went, well, trucks are really popular, so let me look at cars. So I'm looking at cars, and then I went, I'll get another coupe, so it'll be easy for me to get in and out of. So I started looking at coupes, and so you're going under $10,000, they're garbage. There's not a car within 250 miles of me for sale under $10,000 that isn't a piece of garbage. So I kept looking, and I got up, and I saw this. It was a white Camaro 6-cylinder LS, and it was at a dealer here down the road a ways, and it was $13,800, which was a little pricey. But when I was at lunch with Brian and his wife Christina on the way back, I said, "Hey, let's stop and let me just look at that car." And it was Sunday, so they were closed, so no salesman to get involved. So I go over. We stop in, I walk over and look at the car. Okay. It's a 2011, so it's a 10-year-old Camaro. It's got 115,000 miles on it. They want $13,800. And I go look at the car, and there is a crease in the hood. I mean, it's not completely bent, but it's bent enough you can get your hand under here, like under the crease. So probably been in a wreck. They say no, but yeah. And part of the fascia down here was ripped up. It was garbage. Oh, and the interior, thank God we couldn't smell it, but it looked like it smelled horrible. So I went, oh, well, that's horrible. Okay, so I went back and started looking. And I kept looking, and this went on for days and days and maybe weeks. Yeah, probably weeks. Went on for weeks. So I'm looking at cars on Carvana and AutoTrader, and I'm scrolling, and I'm starting to go up into the 20s, because until you get around up to $20,000, they really are just garbage. By the way, at $20,000, they're not a lot better, but the mileage comes down from like the hundreds down to like the 60,000, that kind, so it gets better. Well, anyway, so I'm scrolling through, and I think I was on AutoTrader, and boom, pops up a new coupe for about $20,000. I think it was $20,800, $21,000. New. What madness is this? Well, it was a Hyundai Veloster, which the base trim starts at 18 something, and then 19 something with an automatic, and then it dribbles on up from there. Actually, doesn't it? Hyundai, it's like you get a trim, and there's like no options. There's like 5 things you can pick from that add up to like $1,000. Anyway, beside the point. I'm going, wait, I could get a new car? Well, this changed everything. So I started looking at new Hyundais. And I very quickly discovered on the Hyundai website that while it said that there were some old 2020s still for sale, I mean, not used, but still on the lot, and there were some 2021s, there weren't any anywhere near me. In fact, it said there were like 5 within 500 miles of me on the Hyundai website. And 4 of them were at this dealer in St. Louis, and then when I clicked on the cars, I went to the dealer in St. Louis' website who said, we don't have any. So they had already been sold. So there was one. There was one in Batesville, Mississippi, and it was black, which I don't really want a black car. And it was a 2.0 premium, so the second trim up, which is like 23,000 something. So I'm going, well, maybe not. So I kept looking, and and then one day, I'm scrolling through AutoTrader again, and up pops a white Veloster for $20,000. Used. Now it's used. It's 2020, but it's the 2.0 premium. So it's the $24,000 trim, but a year old for 20, and it only had 14,000 miles on it. I went, well, let me think about this. Well, since the cat's kind of out of the bag, let me reorient the camera for you. Well, I already told you at the beginning of the video that I bought it. So, shocker, here it is. But anyway, so it was at a dealer nearby, Olive Branch, Mississippi, which Olive Branch is just across the state line, and in fact, it's almost due south of me right here. So I just went over and it was like not even 20 minutes, and I was there. And I said, and I thought to myself as I'm driving out, I said, well, look, if it's meant to be, I'll end up buying the car, and if it's not meant to be, well, I had a nice trip to Olive Branch. I had lunch while I was down there. So I walk into the dealership, say I want the car, and they say, well, have you been talking to anybody? I said, well, I looked at it on the website, and Mr. Sweet sells cars. And they go, oh, Kevin McKinney, we'll get him. So they get him. He has the salesman has his own website where he promotes cars, and this was one of the cars he was promoting. By the way, that website paid for itself this month, didn't it? So he comes out, we go out, we look at the car, go for a little test drive. It's, okay, they're both white, they're both coupes, and that's where it stops. 475 horsepower, 147 horsepower. This is a piddly little car. But it drove okay, and it, for parking at the parking garage at work and driving around downtown Memphis, it's perfectly fine. And it is a coupe, which I love, and it's easy to get it out of. Oh, wait, but it's only a coupe on that side. On this side, there's a third door. Isn't that exciting? Anyway, I'll do a whole walk around and review of this car in my next video, but for now, I'll just finish my story. So we go out and do the test drive, and we go back in, we're walking into the dealer, and I say, well, Mr. Sweets, if you can get it, my out-the-door price to be close to that advertised price on the website, without adding a bunch of crap back in, we might have a deal, and especially if you can get me an interest rate that's comparable to what I could get from my bank, which was 2.59%, by the way, on used. 2.39% on used, that's what I'm paying for that one. So he said, well, I think we can do, so we go back in, we put the deal, he puts the deal together, and yeah, there's no add-ons. Here's the 20,000, whatever, 400, I don't remember it was 20,000 and something. And then here's the tax, here's the tags, here's the dock fee was $390 something. Okay, that's a little pricey, but again, not too bad. Again, if you go to yourautoadvocate.com, they'll tell you all about dock fees and negotiability, but like under $500 is not that high. Maybe not that great, but anyway. So, and I'm going, well, and then I go see the F&I guy, and he puts together the deal. Now, the payments are going to be like $300 and something a month, and I'm going, well, I'd really like the payments under $300. So I said, tell you what, I'll write a check for $5,000. Put $5,000 down, that gets payments down near $250. I said, I can handle that. Boom. Bought the car. Total elapsed time from when I walked into the dealer till right then when I said that, exactly 2 hours. So, it took me another 2 hours to get the car because I had to drive home in Stormtrooper and then wait for Mr. Sweets to bring this car later in the afternoon. But he drove it over, and I got what I wanted. By the way, did I mention that I looked up the VIN number on yourautoadvocate.com, and it said that, well, you're probably not going to be able to negotiate. And in fact, I knew I wasn't going to be able to negotiate while he was showing me the order form, you know, with the price of $20,000. He said, "Oh, look, here's the Kelly Blue Book," and sure enough, $20,000 was at the bottom end of the range. So I knew I wasn't going to be able to get him down any below that. So I bought the car. I'm paying around $250 a month. Now wait, remember I said if it's meant to be, I'll buy the car? Well, I bought the car. But here's how much it was meant to be. Remember, I wrote a check for $5,000. The next day in the mail, I get a check from GM Financial. Remember, totaled the ATS a week before it was the turn-in date. Well, I got a check from GM Financial for $5,200, which was the excess of what my insurance company paid as the market value of the car over the residual value in my lease. So, now by the way, if I had turned the car in without wrecking it, that $5,000 would have gone to GM Financial, because if your car is worth more than your residual, they get it. If it's worth less than the residual, that's when you luck out. But if it's worth more than the residual, but no, because I wrecked it and it was my insurance company's money, apparently by law they have to give it back to me. So I got back my down payment the very next day. So when I say something's meant to be, it's meant to be. Okay, well that's the story of how this came to be sitting in my driveway. And next time, I'll do a walk around and review and show you all the features, and especially all those premium features that I got, since this is the 2.0 premium, which is like the $23,000 trim that I got for $20,000 used with the 14,000 miles on it. So I'll show you all. And so I got a better car than I would have gotten for about the same amount of money. And I still have a 5-year warranty. Not the 10-year warranty that comes with Hyundais, because that's for first-time buyer. You have to buy it from Hyundai. In a resale, I only get a 5-year warranty, and of course a year is gone, so I have a 4-year warranty left on this. So anyway, come back next time. We'll do more about this, and then after that, we'll come back over here. I've got the decal from Lux Auto Concepts for the tail light divider. It's fabulous. Oh, it's so fabulous. You're not going to believe how beautiful it is. Anyway, and I got way more bling to go under the hood. I got a pile of stuff in the house ready to be installed onto this car. So we got plenty to do with this car, but now I have another car to do an occasional video about, and the next one will be about this car. See you in the next one.